Hey guys, welcome to another AMA session. This is going to be with the head of product for the project that is called Metacade. His name is Russell Bennett. Again, his designation is that he is the head of product for the Metacade project, which is a Web3 community hub where gamers and crypto fanatics can communicate and collaborate. Basically, you can just visualize that you go into an arcade and you have multiple games in there. Now just imagine that in a virtual environment. That's what this project is going to be. We're going to have a lot of different games in this one, just like we have in an arcade. So there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of details that needs to be covered in this project. So this is what we're going to discuss in this AMA session. There's a slight echo in my voice in the last few minutes, so just ignore that. But you still will be able to understand everything, and if you don't, you can use the subtitles for the end part. And if you have any questions other than what has been discussed, you can simply put them in the comment section. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the AMA session. Hey guys, welcome to the AMA session. I'm joined here with the head of product for the Metacade project. His name is Russell Bennett. Thank you so much for joining in for the session. You guys already have heard my take on what Metacade is, and now we're gonna dive deeper into details and have a a productive discussion about what Metacade is, what the future lies, and of course, you guys know what the purpose of the AMA is, that we get to know more about what the team is, that is working behind the project, what the whole company is, what the vision of the company is, and what they have, planned for the future of the project. So that's going to be the main focus and main aim for this AMA session. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the future of metaverse, which of course a lot of people are concerned about. And it's not possible that we talk about Metacade and we don't talk about the future of metaverse. So of course we're going to talk about that. And there's a few things that we have along the way in the Metacade project that includes their giveaway, and we're going to have those discussion as well. But in the start, since you guys have already heard my take on what Metacade is, but we're going to get the same thing from the head of product for the Metacade project, who can of course explain the project much better than I can. So again, first of all, thank you so much for joining in this session with us. And I'm going to give you this opportunity to explain Metacade for yourself. How do you view Metacade?
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me on. I'm Russell Bennett, Head of Products for Metacade. So Metacade is a Web3 community hub. We've been in crypto and gaming for years now. And as a result, we have 10 tabs open all the time. And we felt that it was time to bring everyone in under one roof who is enthusiastic about the space, have an opportunity to hear your voice, build businesses, build games, create our own arcade, and hopefully take the community on a really great journey with us.
Yeah. So I think everyone here is aware of the arcade. We've all been there, and this to me, it's a really interesting idea, a really interesting concept that I've reviewed a lot of projects, and I have not seen a concept like this. And having it, seeing it actually being implemented is really amazing. Now, before we move ahead, of course, people will want to know more about who you are and what do you do in the company. You're head of the product, so can you explain what your role in the company is and what do you manage in the company?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the meta heads and probably have the largest head of the group. I'm responsible for product, which means that I am responsible for the conceptual design of all of the roadmap. So all the products, all the functionality we're going to release, I'm at the core of that. And obviously we're supported by a fully doxed team on our website. But my job is to ensure that the product is tip top. We listen to the community, and effectively within reason, we build on demand to ensure that the Metacade experience is for everyone and everything people expect it to be.
Okay. Is this the first crypto gaming project that you've been part of, or you have worked before? And if this is the first one, then what inspired you to get into this?
I've been in gaming a long time, to a point where I've seen probably every iteration of hardware. I used to load up games on cassettes when I was a child, so you can imagine how old I am. But gaming's always been a real passion, a real interest. Crypto came about 4 years ago for me, and it just seemed like a great opportunity. I invested early in some games within the crypto space. I think Ember Swords was my first actual token purchase, and a bit of land in there as well. So I've always been fascinated with the Web3 element of gaming. I think we've seen our first iteration. I think what comes next is going to be truly amazing. And I think the community-based platforms are really going to thrive in this next bull run.
Do you think, knowing the current condition of the metaverse and how it's developing, do you think that we're actually going to see the actual version of metaverse where we have the the virtual headsets, and of course that there's a barrier that lies, and is that going to affect Metacade in any way possible?
I think we're a little bit off the hardware to fully utilize, say, a metaverse environment. I think the best hardware, the best VR gear out there is obviously in the hands of Meta, as in Quest at the moment. It would be great to see some VR challenger companies come up this year and next. We'd be very much supportive of that. But the destiny of the metaverse as such, I think, is so different for so many people. It doesn't really affect the outlook of Metacade. We can all jump into Decentraland or Sandbox and enjoy ourselves in an open source environment. But the metaverse itself, I think other companies are doing very subtle, very nice versions of that right now, which aren't such a huge leap into trying to create something brand new. So to answer your question, no, I don't think the outlook on the metaverse right now is going to affect our business model, but I'd love to see more hardware companies coming into the space.
Okay. Well, you already have talked about the team and you said that they are doxed. So other than you, can you tell more about the team, how much expanded it is, that is, running all the whole company and the operations?
Yeah, sure. So our docs team, our kind of public team, we've got James, of head of creative, who's done a brilliant job in everything you'll see on our website and pre-launch. We've got Rob as our lead developer. We've got Sayan on the social media and marketing side, who's done a great job. I think we've just tipped over 13,000 followers on Twitter, and we're not even pre-sale yet. So that's pretty impressive. And then we've got Tony, who's our head of data, which is essential in understanding the behaviors on our platform as we start to involve the DAO elements of our business model. It's very important to understand the behavior of our community. So behind the scenes, there's been up to around 20 people in different capacities, contractors, kind of gig environments, where we've had a real army of people building the Metacade over the last couple of months.
Okay. Can you tell us about the vision of the company regarding Metacade? Like, where do you see this going, or what do you want to achieve with Metacade?
What we want to achieve the Metacade from a vision perspective is to eventually be able to hand the Metacade to the community. It's strongly influenced by our view of DAOs, our view of decentralization. So the end game is to be able to hire and bring in key members of the community into the Metacade team to eventually hand over responsibility to the arcade and all the other rooms that are going to be built, and hopefully see it flourish under a real decentralized governance, which would be amazing to achieve. So that's our vision. Our mission along the way is to build great products, a great arcade, hopefully fill that arcade with games built by the community. There's lots of ambitious projects within the Metacade, and slowly but surely build out the team from within.
Okay. In Metacade, one of the more core concepts that you guys have been using is of Web3 Community Hub. So can you explain it to the people who right now maybe don't understand what the Web3 Community Hub actually is?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's on Reddit, they'll appreciate what subreddits are and the power of a community focused on a singular subject. Our community hub is to ideally bring intelligence, information in the market, up and coming launches, so business intelligence, market intelligence, create a forum-based environment where we can talk about the most pressing narratives, and ideally do it all under one roof, where we can look at price action, game releases, who's talking about what mobile gaming phase 3 looks like, whatever it might be. we want that platform to serve multiple purposes. I mentioned before, we've all sat there on MacBooks with 10 tabs open, trying to work our way through the crypto space. It would be great to start bringing that in under one roof in some shape or form. So that's the essence of the community hub, is to bring all of those elements. Imagine an arcade with lots of different rooms. When you visit, you go and do what you want to do, but you'll end up congregating in another area.
Right. It looks like the DAO governance is really essential for what you guys are trying to achieve. So, and you guys do have the DAO governance, and you're probably developing it more because you said you're trying to put put Metacade in the hands of the community. So, can you explain how the DAO governance work in Metacade, and what kind of control does people have right now?
So the DAO governance, we've seen it in various scenarios, in DeFi particularly. And that's where we felt, from being quite experienced in business, that a DAO can actually be quite detrimental in some cases. So, for example, in a DeFi capacity, making investment decisions sometimes is better left to people that have done that for a few years. So in the case of our DAO governance in a social sense, as soon as the platform is established, we've got traction, the community is growing, we will start talking to the community about key directions. Part of our mission, we'll hire people from the community into key roles. And then we'll start operating a voting model, which allow key decisions to be made on product direction, people direction, and over time, slowly but surely, decentralize Metacade into a community governance, which effectively would mean that the democracy would take over and people would vote in based on decision on product and decision on people. So that would be our vision of the DAO.
Okay, so talking about the games, because these games in the virtual arcade are going to be the most essential things, and people will have the option to vote on which games get showcased. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. Imagine a Kickstarter type environment where a
Right.
project is posted. People get to see some gameplay, some screenshots. Effectively, what we've realized in the gaming space is the launch pads are great, the guilds are great, the infrastructure around gaming is great, but many people we've met have started a game, it's almost complete, they don't have the backing. A lot of people that enjoy gaming are quite technical in general. And if there's some great games that the community have started to work on that they need support financially and to finish, we would hope that the arcade would be built with many of the community games, which is great for the game creator because the game would be posted in the arcade. They would benefit from people paying to play their game, which is a really great utility to have. So and there's no real genre control. Like if people want to bring in games of different genres, different takes on things, also businesses related to gaming, it's going to be pretty much an open forum for the community to vote on what they want to see built within this arcade.
Right. So there won't be any particular genre. You just will be accepting almost all the genres, whether there's like the AA games or just simple games. Will all of those have? Is it essential for all of those to have the play to earn mechanism?
I think it's essential in the sense that it gives the token, the native token utility, also gives the game developer or the creator some genuine benefit and some commercial reality to their efforts. Equally, I'm starting to see a trend where tokens can be used in other games that other studios or other small development firms have built. So we'll be looking at exploring all avenues, whether our Metacade token can be used in our arcade, maybe even further afield. I've started to see that trend really develop. So yeah, it doesn't have to be paid to play, but in the essence of the arcade, using the Metacade token would be a sensible route to take.
Right. We're gonna head over and talk about the tokenomics and the utility of the MK token afterwards. But one of the most important concerns people have regarding a project, which I think is already quite clear, because when the team gets doxed, which is I think it was a really important decision from you guys' part, getting the whole team doxed and putting your identities and reputation on the line, which makes it already enough secure that you guys won't just put out your identities, put out your whole reputation online for something that is bound to fail or is not genuine. So that already is an assurity that this is a safe and a genuine and a credible project. But other than this, there's a lot of things that the normal user won't be able to tell if it's right or wrong, and that's where you have the auditors. So in terms of security, to ensure that the project is safe and everything within it is safe, can you tell us what measures the team has taken to ensure this for the users?
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably the most interesting part of my experience with the project so far. So initially we listed with Coin Sniper. And once we have our final contract address, which should be actually today as we're filming this, and the full audit, then that will be pushed to community for vote. We've also engaged with Certic, which is very well renowned in the industry. That process was mind-blowing, actually. The 72-point check on the main team, the one-to-one interviewing. But what I've been most impressed with from an audit perspective is the advice and support Certic have offered in really refining the security around the code base, the smart contract, additions like multi-signature wallets, all of those things now in place. And ready to push on and complete full audit. So yeah, that side of things has been incredibly enlightening, and we feel very secure now moving forward.
Okay, that's really amazing. And in the future, you're going to have, or do you have plans for newer audits and updating the audits?
Yeah, I think audits like a spring clean. I think it's essential with the current market. If our smart contract evolves or we decide to add functions into the contract, I think it's very sensible to audit at that point. And that will just be a proactive approach we would take as we make maybe changes to the contract or introduce further utility in the future. You see various projects now probably on their second or third iteration of their smart contracts, and I think it's essential to audit all along the way.
Right. Now, you already have mentioned about the utility of the MK token, which is a native token. Of course, it is going to kind of like sit in the center of the whole ecosystem. Can you, like, now we're down to the tokenomics section. What will be the long-term sustainable value drivers, basically utilities for the MK token?
Okay, so the way we view sustainability, when a token's launched, the market will decide price, they'll market make, and effectively will find a point of settlement. What we're very keen to establish straight away is revenue streams into the business. Now, this creates a very strong value opportunity. For example, if we take the advertising opportunity on our platform, we're modeling at the moment a very simple model where advertisers have to hold a certain amount of Metacade tokens, for example, in order to access and show the advert to our community, for example. We've got game testing models. Our community, the power of our community will effectively dictate the use of the Metacade token. So from a token holder, they'll use it in the arcade. They'll enter prize draws. They'll be able to get that from contributing to forum-based conversations where we'll reward top communicators and top contributors. But there's also a very important commercial element that if the community is asked or given an opportunity, we will ensure that any commercial arrangements with businesses coming in to work with our community ensure that the value of the Metacade token is maintained as part of that deal. So that's quite an interesting one. And then over time, maybe look at a burn and back model. Once we have all of the utility laid out, we can see how the token's behaving and make some adjustments to ensure that price is maintained.
Right. Just this will be another blue question right off the top of my head. The games developers that will be showcasing their games or will be able to showcase their games in the Metacade, will they have the option to separately advertise their own game on the whole platform?
Yes,
using
absolutely.
MK token, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely, you must be reading our deck, but yeah, that's definitely something we've looked at. I mean, the cross-chain mentality is that we want to introduce as many communities to the Metacade, and in the true essence of an arcade, you come and visit, you enjoy, you consume whichever you want, and then if in many ways you'll leave. And we want to ensure that anyone coming in offering value utilizes the Metacade token where possible. We don't have full utility mapped out, but that's part of the fun, and the community will hopefully guide us on what is actually possible beyond our original roadmap.
Right. One other question. Before you mentioned slightly about, paid to, you have to pay to play. Uh, is this true for all of the games that will be showcased in the Metacade, or like if
Yeah,
will there be games that will be free to play?
Depends on the type of game. There'll be some very simple addictive games. I'm sure we've all been prone to that on our mobile phones, etc., where there'll be some freemium elements to the arcade, but I think that'll be a good testing ground. Naturally, in game testing, beta environments, games will be put out in the arcade to see what the engagement is like. That's the importance of Tony, of head of data, to ensure that we look at engagement levels. And if we feel that game is of top notch and engagement levels hit the mark, then we'll look at turning that into a pay to play game.
Right. So, are these decisions will be in the hands of the developer, or will the team decide, or the people that will decide about this, then whether this will be free to play, or there will be you have to pay to play, and the point system, the whole economy of the game itself, like who will be the one that will be taking decisions regarding that?
Well, the creator is the genius involved in that. So
Okay.
they will definitely have a leading voice in that. But this is where we can start looking at the DAO mechanics and
Right.
say, okay, look, you've created a brilliant game. The community love it. They've engaged. Let's start structuring this collectively, because I learned a long time ago, being involved in product, that my idea was never necessarily the best idea. You put a question out to 200 people, you're likely to find a better version of what you're thinking.
Right. Just to clear this, who will be eligible to be kind of like be part of the DAO governance as for right now? Will it be the holders or stakers?
So we'll have probably a limited period staking opportunity post launch. But in terms of the DAO itself, we will look at either an amount of Metacade in wallet, or whether it's a staked opportunity against the platform. That mechanic is yet to be decided. But typically, if you hold, in many DAOs, if you hold that token in your wallet and that wallet is connected, generally that will verify your ability to vote.
Right. Okay. We know that there will be option for play to earn, and that is one way that users will be able to earn MK token. But can you list like are there any other ways through which someone can earn MK token, or will be able to earn MK token in the future?
Yep. So by contributing to general conversation, forum-based narratives, then we'll be rewarding people for their contributions, their ideas, their alpha, as we say. So there'll be some effectively contribute to earn mechanics in there. Obviously, you've got the ability to enter various competitions, prize draws. There's always a quite fun competition element to a lot of these platforms. So we'll be introducing that as well. And then there's that staking element as well over the initial period, which will reward people that support the project and allow us to push forward. So there's those varying mechanics. And then, yeah, as the games are launched and people start playing, there'll be tournaments on other platforms we're looking to partner with various platforms and run some really good Metacade tournaments in other people's games. That's generally how this community works.
Yeah. We have kind of like talked about the tokenomics and the economy of the MK token, but can you tell us about the business model of the MK as a company? Like, where is it generating the revenue or profits to keep the whole business sustainable?
Yeah, so we've got probably 4 primary revenue streams, which we intend to effectively go live on from day one. That is obviously advertising revenue. And the one thing we have noticed is that there's a huge amount of people that would love to work in the industry.
Right.
So there'll be an opportunity for companies, studios, launch pads, guilds to advertise job listings or gig opportunities on the site. Now, these will be a mix of Metacade token and revenue. We'll have a look at that structure once we're live. You've got game testing. So I've spoken to a lot of games at founder level that would love a community to go and really break their game in that first stage. So there's a good opportunity to offer some incentives around game testing. We've got great network in terms of launch pads. There's a good chance that we'll be able to get some games launched on effectively our launch pad within Metacade. And also there's the pay to play arcade. And the one thing I haven't discussed yet is the meta grants model. So as part of us giving back within the business model, if people are looking to launch something, get started, become an intern, over certain periods of time in that first year and onwards, we will be offering meta grants, whether it's to employ someone or to support a business through to its completion. Again, this is where the DAO comes in. This gives us the ability to say, right, we have X amount of money to spend on our meta grant. What should we use it for? And creating that complete loop in the community is absolutely essential to our goal.
You mentioned that the meta grant will be that the DAO, people in the DAO governance will be able to have, the right to vote on proposal regarding where to use the meta grant. Will this be strictly for the games that are being developed, or outside as well?
Not purely games. We've seen some great businesses. We'll probably go on to it later, but we've supported a local business in the UK who built really great retro arcade machines, for example. So I think the gaming community still love the physical as well as the metaverse. And if a great idea comes up and clearly the community embrace it, we should probably back it. And we'll listen to the community on that basis. And if that money is well spent there, then we will spend it.
Okay, that's good. Now, we're gonna head over and talk about the future planning, because people would love to know what is coming ahead in the Metacade and what they can expect. Hold on. So, if you talk about the future planning, what are the most important and immediate goals for the Metacade in 2022, which is, it is about to end. But of course, you guys had some ideas and you had some aims that this is what we want to achieve by the end of 2022. So can you tell me what that is, and have you achieved it, or will you be achieving it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the time of filming this, we effectively launch tomorrow. So to have a successful launch, a strong pre-sale, is the goal pre-Christmas, to gain some feedback, hopefully some real traction in our token sale. Once that's done, it's all about product roadmap and being head of product. That's my responsibility. To deliver product on time is the pass or fail of any project in this industry and any industry in general. So for me, it's to fulfill the product roadmap along the way, to engage community, to ensure that what we're releasing is fit for purpose and we have right product fit. But yeah, get the product out, get the forum-based environment going early so we can start talking to everyone on the same platform, and start shaping the other products very, very quickly thereafter. So for me, successful, frictionless launch, and then straight into product building.
Right. So this was for this year. What about next year, 2023? By the end of 2023, what do you have in mind that you want to achieve by the end of 2023?
I'd love to see the arcade filling up, ideally with the majority of games and products from the community. That would be amazing. That would be one of the biggest missions completed. For us to have a completely developed platform that allows not only information, forum-based conversation, but also the early shapings of the DAO. I think around that time, towards the back end of the year, the market will be becoming slightly bullish again. And as a result, I think gaming will be the primary narrative. So I expect a very high level of engagement in terms of discussion around the direction of effectively crypto gaming version 2.0.
Right. Okay, this question was probably something that I should have asked like a while back, but I just got the question in my head right now. We know the GameFi aspect of the Metacade, which is really prominent, but there's also a social, element in the Metacade as well, and that's how you're able to generate, the community. So can you maybe name those elements or ways through which people will be able to communicate with each other in Metacade?
Yes. So one of the key forum-based opportunities there is for peer-to-peer chat. What we've generally found is that the group of people involved in this project, we've all met through, I suppose, the physical route of networking. So for us, the underlying premise of Metacade is to not only build great businesses within the community, build great games, But if we can see employment going up within the community, with people communicating and lending a hand to each other, I mean, genuine community comes down to one thing, and that's the ability to help each other out. And what we found in the group of people that we work with is that we want to grow that community and allow people to engage with each other directly, and hopefully just accelerate everyone's ambitions, which is whether it's building a game or getting a job in the industry, whatever it might be. People will find each other. They generally do.
Okay. You already have, released a kind of like information about the pre-sale, which is just, you said it's launching tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, it's launching tomorrow. So probably when the AMA, this session is live for you guys to watch, the pre-sale is already live. I'm gonna put all the links in the description so you can get those from there. But other than the pre-sale, there's one more thing, which is the giveaway that you guys have, and it's a massive giveaway. So to conclude the session, can you tell us about the giveaway and how we can take part in this and different prizes that we have in the giveaway?
Yeah, I had to sell my hair for this one. So in total, we're giving away $225,000 worth of giveaways. So there's one big $125,000 giveaway, which happens at the end of our pre-sale. And then throughout the pre-sale, there's going to be batches of giveaways of around sort of $1,000 to $2,000 at a time, which will be given away during the period of the pre-sale. And then on top of that, I mentioned earlier about a local arcade building business. We bought 100 arcade machines. So we're either mad or we really love what we do. I'm not sure which it is, but we'll be giving away those 100 arcade machines to the community and to people that are genuinely interested in our journey.
That's really amazing. Out of all your social media channels, because of course people would love to know where they can be, become part of the community and possibly take part in the giveaways and so forth. Which one do you think is the most active social media platform that you guys have, whether it's your Discord or Telegram and so forth?
Well, I'd say definitely our Twitter. As soon as pre-sale goes live, our Discord and Telegram will fill up very quickly. But find us on Twitter. We, like I say, we're over 13,000 followers pre-launch, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
Really. We also have some great ambassadors that are on Twitch quite often. So if you check out our website, and you'll see the ambassadors we have involved, giving us a helping hand in creating awareness of our projects. So yeah, come and give us a follow there, and yeah, jump on Twitch and see what our ambassadors are up to as well.
Okay. So there you go. You guys have the info. Twitter is, as for right now, is the main thing. You'll have the link in the description to join that. And whatever happens, whenever there's any update, the pre-sale and launch, or any contest you guys do, you'll have the information over there. And then your Telegram and Discord, they'll also be in the description. So you can, I'll suggest you guys that you join that as well. But yeah, I think this is almost all I had for you guys in this AMA session. I'll let you guys, I'll let you, conclude the AMA for this one. Anything that you want to say in the end?
Yeah, just thank you very much for the time. I appreciate you allowing us to talk to your community. The Metacade is going to be a lot of fun. It's by no means a finished article, which is the whole point of it, is for you to come and take a look, give us your opinions, and we'll sit there with open arms and make sure we build and grow in accordance with our community. And let's fill that arcade up with community-based games.
Well, there you have it. If you still have any questions, if there's anything that is not answered here, you guys will have the access to the the website and all the documents, so you can get the answer from there. And still, if you don't, you can always comment in the comment section. I'll get get the answer to you, or I'll give you guys a better option. You can follow them on Twitter and you can ask some question over there, and the community itself can help each other out in whatever question that you guys have. But this is all of you guys in this AMA session. They have the pre-sale that is, by the time that you will be watching this, it is live right now, and the giveaway also. So make sure that you do not miss that. And yeah, this is all we had for you guys in this AMA session, and I'll see you guys in the next one shortly. So stay tuned.
Bye, everyone.